We are live on this 29th of March. Oh my goodness, we're just about ready for April. Coming this Thursday. How exciting. Spring is coming. It's going to be 50 degrees here today, and it's going to be 72 on Saturday. And in between those two, we're supposed to get a little bit of snow. Isn't that a crazy time of year? It's so good to be with all of you this Monday. We are going to take on what I believe to be the single most important scroll. They're all powerful. They're all important, but they've been building to this moment in time. Everything that we've been learning in terms of loving people with agape love, that heightened level of awareness, of persisting until we succeed, of fighting through our challenges, of recognizing our own uniqueness and living present in the now and controlling our emotions and meeting this day with laughter and multiplying our value 100-fold. All of these incredibly powerful scrolls. I want us to reflect on the fact that Og wrote all of these in one night. He started about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening, and he's coming around. He ends at 9 the next morning. So it's somewhere around 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And the sun's probably getting ready to start coming up. And the light of this scroll starts to shine forward. Now, herein lies one of the great secrets. And I still remember so vividly Paul Blanchard, president of Habit Finder, and my son, delivering a speech when he talked about us standing on the edge going, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready. It's that leap. Because in truth, when we're studying or attending a conference or a convention or listening to a podcast or reading a book, the gap between where we are and where we want to be, that leap, narrows. Because it's all happening in our mind. But action does not happen in our mind. It happens in tangible reality. And it instantly goes back out here, this gap. Which one is real? If we want to actually accomplish our goals and create our dreams, which one's real? This one or this one? And the truth is, it is this one. And then sometimes we want to gain confidence before we leap. And confidence only comes from the leap. Courage is taking action in spite of fear. So here we are, standing on the precipice, ready to jump. And what do we do? How often do we talk ourselves out of this? And what is it that's talking us out of it? Well, in our 250,000 Habit Finder assessments, we see one glaring fact. It's the dialogue we have with ourselves about ourselves. That dialogue that is often really toxic. Sometimes we use our gift of vivid visualization to go into the future, and we've already lived there. We haven't leaped yet, but we still live there in our minds. We've already experienced everything. And now we have to take this leap to make a phone call. When here we're worth millions of dollars. That's really a challenge. Then we step into our thoughts about our life. We don't like our life. We're feeling terribly impatient. We're running around like a chicken with our head cut off. We're disillusioned because we can see it so clearly, but here we're trying to figure out how to build a bridge from here to there. And then we start asking, what's wrong with me? Am I not worthy? Am I not good enough? Do I not know enough? Is my character flawed? Is my contribution not valued? Are there mistakes I've made somewhere along the way that are holding me back? And all of that dialogue is screaming. On the other side of that equation, waiting for us is an enormous amount of clarity, gifting, and even natural genius. In terms of accurately assessing a person, we know this because we get that inspired idea and we talk ourselves out of it. We also know that when we reach deadlines and we jump in, that even we are surprised. Wow, that wasn't so hard. Wow, why did I wait so long? But it generally takes a deadline, which is like a gentle push to get us to take the leap. This scroll 9, I will act now. If we could let this into our souls, and you listen to this scroll 3 times a day for a week, what I do know is that it will start talking to you. Yes, it'll start talking to you. You'll be facing one of those moments where you need to get something done and you want to procrastinate, you want to put it off, and you're going to hear the words, act now. I don't want to. Act now. I don't want to. Act now. Okay. And here's the secret. Which voice is your true, authentic, genuine self? The one trying to procrastinate, or the one saying, act now? This scroll will introduce you to your genuine self at an extremely high level, if you'll allow it to. And as you listen to the words in this scroll and let them into your heart, and you start to live this scroll, you will awaken to your own natural genius, your own gifting. And it's one of the greatest ways to heal that toxic negative dialogue, which is a lie. The truth is the gifting, waiting for us to take action. Og opens this scroll with a really profound statement. Never has there been a map, however carefully executed in detail and scale, which carried its owner over 1 inch of ground. We could look at the 6 habits found in Habit Finder. We can read the manual, but it doesn't move us forward 1 step unless we take action. Never has there been a parchment of law, however fair, which prevented 1 crime. Never has there been a scroll, even such as the one I hold. And look at my poor book. It's just falling apart. The one I hold, which earned so much as a penny or produced a single word of acclamation. Action alone. Action alone is the tinder that ignites the map, the parchment, the scroll, my dreams, my plans, my goals into a living force. Action is the food and drink which will nourish my success. Before that, he said, my dreams are worthless, my plans are dust, my goals are impossible. Wow. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. There is a belief, and it's pervasive, that somehow we can vividly visualize ourselves into our dreams. No. We vividly visualize to get clear on where we're going. We vividly visualize each step to get inspired ideas about how to take actions more effectively. And as we're in action, as we're in forward motion, we're then in alignment with the very power that orders the universe. For me, that's God. For he doesn't drive parked cars. Now, from this point on in this scroll, Og has provided us with so many quotable quotes that if we could just put these on a piece of paper somewhere and read them every once in a while. My procrastination, which has held me back, is born of fear. All that dialogue, right? I recognize this. Mine from the depths of all courageous hearts. Kur, heart, courageous heart, heart of heart. When we get the depths of that heart, what do we find? That I must act without hesitation, and the flutters in my heart will vanish. For now I know that only action reduces the lion of terror to an ant of equanimity, which means peace of mind. That's why I chose the title, Equanimity, Conquering Mount Entrepreneur. That peace of mind that comes only from action helps us conquer Mount Entrepreneur. Then he gives us lessons, such as, henceforth I'll remember the lesson of the firefly, which gives off its light only when it's on the wing. And think about the use of light. Light meaning intelligence, insight, revelatory insight. We want light. Well, Firefly only has it when it's in action. He's inviting us. He says, I will become as the firefly, and even in the day, my glow will be seen in spite of the sun. Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings, yet depend on the charity of a flower for life. I will be as the firefly, and my light will bright the earth. My light. What's he inviting us to do? Sometimes we want to know the beginning from the end before we take the leap. And he's saying we need to take the leap and take the leap. And sometimes it's in taking the leap that we get new and better ideas. I don't want to make the wrong decision. Make a decision, get into action so you can see other opportunities begin to open. They don't open while we're standing ready to jump. They open on the other side of the jump. I will not avoid the tasks of the day and charge them to tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. Really? Yeah, 24 hours from now, it's still today. 2 weeks from now, it's still today. It's still now. 10 years from now, it's still now. It's always now. Then he says, I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. Henceforth, I'll repeat these words again and again and again, each hour, each day, every day, until the words become as much a habit as my breathing, and my actions which follow become as instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. Only action determines my value in the marketplace. Wow. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will work when the failure seeks rest. I will talk when the failure remains silent. I will call on 10 who can buy my goods while the failure makes grand plans to call on one. I will say that it is done before the failure says it is too late. So much wisdom wrapped up in that little series of sentences. How often are we in grandiose plans and we're going to change the whole world, when in fact between here and there are a whole bunch of little things. Are we focused on the grand and grandiose? If we are, we're going to be in failure. Are we focused on the 10? The 10 who can buy my goods while the failure makes his grand plans to call on one. Let us stay in the millimeters of creation. When the lion is hungry, he eats. When the eagle has thirst, he drinks. Lest they act, I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. My favorite phrase in all the scrolls. I will command, and I will obey my own command. As you read this scroll or listen to it, morning, noon, and night for the next week, just let it into your soul and see if you don't hear your real voice. Act now. That's the I am I will command, and I, my habits of thinking, will obey my command. I will act now. Because I said in the opening line, my dreams are worthless, my plans are dust, my goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. Let us make this a week of action, a week of action. And maybe pause just for a moment. I attended a wonderful dinner last night with Rich and Leslie Zollinger, who live in our neighborhood. They'd invite us, several of the neighbors, to come together because of the Holy Week, Palm Sunday. We had just such a rich conversation about each day of this week. For our Christian friends, Easter comes on Sunday. What a great celebration. For our Jewish friends, it's Passover, celebrating being freed from Egypt. A great week of celebration for all. May you have a wonderful Holy Week. May this be a great experience for you. And may you find your true self, the courage of the Jewish community when they fled from Egypt after decades of slavery. As those of us who are Christians celebrate the crucifixion and resurrection of our Lord and Savior, let us find this peace inside our being. Let us recommit living all of the principles in the scrolls by taking action. This is not an intellectual experience. It's one in which we put into practice. So blessings to all. May this be a great week for you as you apply the principles in I Will Act Now. Scroll 9. Giant thank you to Og for his inspiration that night when this was written. I would imagine it was probably about 7 o'clock when he finished. And then he went into scroll 10, which we will take on next week. I will seek guidance. Blessings, everybody. Have a great one.